Okay, we're good.
All right, we're live. Welcome to the Huddle. Me, Coach Muddle, Nevada Nick, as always, and Monday of it got to be heartbreak if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, or if you had money riding on Buffalo.
Yeah, heartbreak, dude. I'm telling you, man. I think yesterday probably took years off my life. I had the Rams and the Bills. And look, you say you split, but I mean, I understand the Bucs got back in the game, but the Rams were the better team. Anybody who watched that game will tell you that. Mm-hmm. And then the Bills, they had that game won. I'm not going to say the Bills were I think the Bills were the more balanced team. I think their defense is better than the Chiefs, but, some bad coaching. I will give the Chiefs credit. Obviously, their offense is better than the Bills' offense. It's just more rounded the way they ran the football and took what the Bills gave them. But, man, and the other thing, too, Coach, the one thing what they were able to do, they ended up getting 2 more possessions, too, Coach, because they deferred at halftime. Obviously, they missed the field goal at the end of the first half, but then they got the ball at the start of the second half, and then you get the ball in overtime, too, which, and I'm not just saying it because this game, Coach, I've always said it. I feel like what it should be is both teams get a possession, okay? Yeah. If you score a touchdown, the other team gets it. I think you should have to go for 2 points after the touchdown, and then the other team goes down. If they score and they go for 2-2 and they get the 2, then I think you take it from the 10-yard line or something and give each possessions or something. But I think that's what you got to do with overtime, because the most important thing of the game last night might have been a coin flip, because if it goes the Bills' way, do you think the Chiefs stop them, Coach?
Right. I agree. I don't think so. And I agree. I've been saying this since college and high school have switched to their overtime format, that NFL needs to adapt that. And I understand, your field goal kickers. So start at the 40 instead of the 25 like they do in college. Right. Start at the 40, make it a more difficult, field goal. But each team should have a possession, and you keep after. I think in high school, is it after the third one you have to go for 2 or whatever. But and I think we see that coming, because how could you let one of the 2 most prolific offenses sit on the sideline and not get a shot during that overtime? And it's egregious. It's just a terrible thing. And I've been saying this for a while, that they needed to change that. It was horrible. But at the same time, the special teams coach and the defensive coordinator should be fired. And if anybody's thinking of hiring Leslie Frazier as their head coach, forget it.
He's crossed off my list.
Forget it. You're crossing him off the list.
Yep.
Okay. And first of all, I know he's getting some buzz in New York, but people forget he was a defensive coordinator for the Giants way back when and didn't do a very good job. So, but how do you kick off?
I don't care what you say. That is not an overreaction. Look, you blew it in big time. So do you want to trust somebody like that to having all you need? I mean, just obviously the not swimming it. I don't get that's going to take at least 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. And then you gave him 19 yards for 5 seconds. I'm not saying you got to go the huge mistake Todd Bowles made where he went cover 0 and Cooper Kupp makes the big play because Levante David doesn't blitz. We'll get to that later. But, I mean, play defense. If you want to only, have 3, blitz and whatever, I get that. But you just can't Hill and
but why were you rushing 4
Hill and Kelsey, they're 2 best players to be able to just – Hill caught the ball and nobody touched him for 20 yards. Play defense. Play defense.
Yeah, but why are you rushing 4 guys? You're not getting there. Put another guy, rush 3, put another guy out there in coverage and make it harder for the passing lanes. I don't understand. No. You're in prevent defense. Yeah. And again, I always say it only prevents you from winning.
And it's honestly, Coach, it's 100%. It really does. And the other thing I didn't like either.
But why? They didn't need a touchdown. They only needed a field goal. So why were you in prevent?
Why didn't they up the pressure on Mahomes yesterday either? Why not send the extra guy? Because look, they have the number one pass defense in football. But with Mahomes, if you're not putting pressure on him, and look, a couple times they did it. David Mahomes just made some Mahomes plays, but you got to put pressure on the guy. You can't let Mahomes sit back there and just chew you apart.
And I felt like the problem with Buffalo was they were getting to Mahomes and then they were stopping to see what he was going to do instead of just trying to hit him.
Right.
And Mahomes squirmed out. I saw that about 4 or 5 times where the defense got there and Mahomes just stopped and kind of broke down and were like, okay, we're going to hem him in. And all he did was, spin around and do Mahomes type stuff.
And look, me, Coach. I'm all about running the football. I am. And the Chiefs did it better yesterday. They did. But
Mahomes did it better. That's
one thing I noticed. When Tyrann Mathieu went out yesterday, I said to my brother, I'm like, you know what? You just got to go. And he had a great saying. He goes, sometimes you just got to go punch the bully. You know what I mean? And that's what I thought they should have done. They should have just kept throwing the ball. Because they could have, and you saw it late in the game. They abandoned.
Because
they were throwing the ball all over the Chiefs. And I said it in the first half. I said because there was twice they had 2nd and 3, Coach, and they ran it twice and got stopped and punted. And I think it was the best divisional round of football to watch. But Joe, when you talk about coaching and things like that, it was not well played.
Joe, you obviously didn't listen to Coach this weekend because you would have been 4-1 in the out of the 5 things that Coach
get the hell out of here.
The 4 out of the 3 of the 4 games and a prop bet hit.
And you should have been wrong, and you know it too.
Okay?
The Packers game,
but it does shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right,
come on, Coach. The Packers game, we both know. A punt block and a field goal block that shouldn't have happened.
I wonder. I got to look that up. When was that happen twice in a game?
No.
I don't think you've. It's rare you see it.
Punt block was in Green Bay when the Falcons did it with Michael Vick. Remember, they had a big punt block for a touchdown.
No, but I'm saying both kicks being blocked, a field goal, and you maybe see it once.
Joe, look. I said that day that he was one of the more underrated coaches, too. He was horrible. I couldn't believe it for as good of a coach he is. But look, Tannehill hurt him, too.
I blame more Tannehill than Drabel on some of that because, come on.
Tannehill not giving it to Henry on that 3rd and 1. And then, then you have the horrible play call again. They blew that game. They had to.
Because how do you have 9 sacks and lose the football game?
Yeah.
But
still on that Bills-Chiefs game, Coach, I just feel bad for Josh Allen. I really did. He went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. I don't think you could say either. I thought they played equally perfect. You know what I mean? I don't think one outplayed the other. And then he had him beat, and you had left 13 seconds on. And I was in a group text, and people were like, I don't necessarily say it was over, but I'm like, man, with Patrick Mahomes, it never is. And I was worried. I'm like, I really hope they don't come out and do this prevent shit and just let them do stuff. And then to let Kelsey, that was even more egregious. Like, what are you doing? It's almost like he was trying to protect the sideline.
Yeah.
Like, dude, they got timeout.
They had 3 timeouts, so who cares about the sideline?
Right, exactly. And you let Kelsey, the way he caught it and then just run up the field, I just couldn't believe it. And honestly, and I'm going to say this now too, Joe, I'm curious to your opinion. But if I'm the Bills, what's your team built around right now? Josh Allen. I would really consider thinking about letting McDermott walk to keep Dabble because I think Dabble is more important to your team than Sean McDermott is. Sean McDermott is replaceable. I know some people might call me crazy because he's this, but he's replaceable. And he made some huge mistakes that really cost the Bills a legit shot. To me, they'd have been the favorite to win it all if they win that game yesterday. It doesn't mean you're going to, but, you're not – with all these quarterbacks in the AFC, you don't know how many times you're going to get a shot at the Super Bowl. Right. And they blew a great opportunity to have the Bengals at home, a team they probably could have beat to go to the Super Bowl.
He is a defensive guy.
But I'm saying Brian Dabble, Joe, the offensive coordinator, is probably going to leave. And I'm saying I would probably just let him be the head coach and let go of McDermott, because I think Dabble is more important to that team as the offensive coordinator than McDermott is as the defensive. I mean, you're the number one ranked defense, but in the biggest game, you couldn't do shit.
I don't honestly, in theory, that's great, but I don't think they're going to do that. And,
Joe's right on that Titans game. The 2-point conversion was.
Yes, I was going to get to that, Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 2-point, because what are you doing going for 2 there? You would have been up by 1. You don't
chase points that early.
Yeah, you don't chase that early. I mean, what are you doing?
I get it late in the game when you're going to go up 3 or go up 7. Things like that. I get it. It makes sense, but not early in the game because there's just so much more game to play. And look how much more game they had to play. And you're right, it is greedy. And he's thinking, look, we're getting, you're going from the 2, but look, that's the hardest yard to get. How many times do you see where you get down there and it's first and goal from the 1 or 1.5, and teams can't get in and they get shot on 4th down? It's the hardest 1 yard to get. I mean,
because they don't practice it a lot. They don't put enough into it. But still, I agree. It is.
They stack it in to beat you, and if you get any type of penetration,
especially with a throwing teams, that are you don't have a lot of room.
Right.
Or time to get your guys out in
Plus, if it's not a quarterback sneak and you're handing that ball off, coach, you get penetration, it's over. You're getting stopped.
Right. You're right.
I mean, yeah, it's a wild weekend. I mean, it really was. And like I said, I just feel bad for Josh Allen, man. You could see him sitting on the, when in overtime, you could just see how deflated he was. I think he knew it was over. And like the thing that bothers me is Kelsey and all those guys. I get it. You're excited, but you know what? I'm still going to say it. The Chiefs, they don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously they won, but I think if you had good coaching there, they wouldn't have. But I still don't think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you that now. Because Joe, you're going to think I'm nuts, but I think the Niners will beat them. I think the Rams will beat them. I think the Bengals have a shot. And I think the Rams would be a really bad matchup for the Chiefs because the pressure they can put on Mahomes. Their defense stinks. The Chiefs' defense stinks.
And
stink.
And I want it's funny. I got to give credit to Wallace Mall because I don't want any confusion out there. But Wallace today came to me and he said, "You know what it was? The Bills were so emotional that they felt they just won the game."
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
They forgot there was 13 seconds left.
And they just Mahomes on the other sideline.
Right. And they had a 13-second blip mishap. And it cost them,
Hey, Joe, early lines too. I think 7 points is too much to the Bengals. You call me crazy. I agree. I think the Chiefs find a way to win. But that Bengals offense is going to score on the Chiefs. It's going to happen. I mean, you saw last time he lit them up. I think, and I think Burrow's going to go in there humming. I really do. I mean, he's on fire now. They got a lot of confidence, and the Chiefs, their pass rush struggles too. So, and that's where the weakness is for the Bengals is that pass rush. Yeah, Sam, I'm with you, Sammy. I'm with you. Hey, it was to watch. Now, Coach, let's get into the other game that almost put me in my grave. I had to ram for a grand. Just unbelievable. If my mom's watching, she did the kiss of death and said if they lose, and then the next play Cooper Kupp fumbles the ball. But man, Coach, how many times did the Rams just open the door back up for the Bucs yesterday?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the fumble on the 1 yard line late in the second quarter, where how many times does Tom Brady give that ball to you like that, Coach? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where you talk about the Cooper Kupp fumble. Then you got Von Miller gets the sack, and it's in field goal range. And then the first play, they snap it over, past Stafford, and you give the ball right back to the Bucs.
Right.
Matt Gay misses a 47-yard field goal, and he's short. Then the running back, when you're about to be 3rd and 1 at the 2-minute warning with, the Bucs have no timeout. So if you get the yard, the game's over, or you punt, you fumble, and give the ball to the Bucs at the 30. And then he also, Ramsey gives up that huge play.
Your mom's watching.
Yeah, she's watching. Thanks, Mom. You're so lucky that Cooper Kupp bailed you out late, Mom. It wouldn't have been good. But yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp bails him out. But yeah, too, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how wild that was. And I wonder, what did Joe say? Why the hell will I make them field it? And Joe, that was you squib it, you take 4 or 5 seconds off, and then look, they can only really run one play. If they have 7 or 8 seconds, you're going to run a play. It's going to take, and you're going to have 3 seconds left. How can you got to run a Hail Mary? You can't kick a field goal. What kind of play can you run in 3 seconds? It's going to be what, 10 yards, maybe tops? Like, you can't run a play in 3 seconds. So that's the whole point. Billy Cummings. Yeah, Billy's ready, I'm sure. I'm rooting for your Bengals. I really am.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers sucks. Yeah, I mean, the defense played well, and he played good enough to win. But yeah, I mean,
but he didn't throw any touchdowns.
No, I know.
Who would have thought that? You wouldn't have thought it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that had the over on touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers Saturday night.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the weather played a part, it being so cold, and the snow in the second half kind of jacked the field up. Billy, too, the defense was bad. I mean, giving 19 yards to Tyreek Hill and taking only 5 seconds off, I mean, so you put him at the 44. So now, really, I mean, Buckner's got a leg. So you're at the 44.
Even though he missed earlier a field goal and an extra point, but he does have a leg.
You got 12, 13 yards, and you got to play. And there's 8 seconds left, and they got all that, got 2 timeouts. I mean, it made no sense. I mean, and Romo said it right away. He goes, they're going to squib it here, and then they kicked it deep. He goes, I don't know what they're doing. And, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I don't get it. It's like you don't think these guys talk about this shit. And obviously, you think McDermott, I mean, obviously the special teams coach, but McDermott's got to be involved in that too. Like, it's just, it's terrible. I mean, it's I don't know. The Bills game really pisses me off. Sorry. We were on to the Bucks, but no. So what do you think about that game, Coach, and the wildness of, the Bucks get back, you think you're going to go to overtime, and then Stafford beats you with 2 quick passes on just great plays by Cooper Kupp, who got to redeem himself and took the advice of on to the next play, because obviously he had the bad fumble to kind of start the Bucks.
Right. He did. He went on to the next play and did it. But, I mean, where is the safety? You let him go on that touchdown prior. Wide open down the middle of the field. He went right down the hash and was wide open.
Right.
I mean, I just don't.
You're talking about the Bill game again.
No, I'm talking about the Ram game where he stepped up and threw the touchdown. He needed, it was 3rd and whatever, and they needed the touchdown. What?
Brady or Stafford?
Stafford, and they let the kid go wide open. The guy scored 4 touchdowns.
You talking about Kupp late in the game?
No. Late in the game was the no-name guy. I can't even think of his name, but he scored 4 touchdowns yesterday. Or
you just said the Rams game. Now you're talking about the Bills.
Yeah, game. The Rams game. I never changed. It's the Rams game. The Rams.
He didn't score late. Cooper Kupp, there was a field goal.
Prior to that touchdown that they scored on
the
Rams, their last touchdown that they scored.
Yeah.
That guy was wide open down the middle of the field. Where was the defense? I mean,
I'm trying to look. I don't remember what you're talking about. I don't. Yeah, you can say what you got.
It's fine. And I think Pee Eater put up the first time in 12 years that Brady nor Rodgers is in a championship game. So
I mean that's but Rodgers, when you look at it though, since his Super Bowl, he started 4-1 in the playoffs. He hasn't really been good since. Coach, there was no long touchdown from Stafford. He only had 2 touchdowns, and the long one was the 70-yard to Kupp, and that was in the first half.
No, the other then what was the it was All right, it wasn't long, but it was over 20 yards, wasn't it?
No, the other one was like 11 yards.
All right, my bad. I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah.
My bad.
Coach confusing the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we got a ton of comments here. Hold on. We got Stiz surprised. Stiz, I couldn't believe that. I bought it to 7.5. I got it. Stiz, I was surprised too. The other side, the Niners were 3.5 to open up. I couldn't believe that. Packers.
What's up, Mama Moon?
What's up, Mama Moon? Shamed themselves to say they lost the defensive touchdowns. The crazy thing is, too, Billy, the Rams were up 17-0 on the Niners in the last week, and they blew that game. Right. If they put the Niners away, the Niners don't even make the playoffs. But now here they are, one step away from being in the Super Bowl now.
And we might not be making fun of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have played each other.
Right. No, they wouldn't have. It would have been the Eagles and the Saints. So and it would have been Cowboys, Eagles, and Bucks, Saints. And It would have been probably Cowboys, Bucks in the second round. And I think the Cowboys would have beat the Bucks. I mean, Tom, look, they have too many injuries on that defense. I mean, that offense for Brady. I mean, they really do.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought, Stiz. You're thinking about Gabriel Davis for the Bills. He had 4 touchdowns, 200 yards. But you were saying the Rams. Yeah,
all right.
He had a huge game. Yeah. And
all right. Yes, I am confused. But yes.
That's what I thought too, Stiz. Yeah, Gabriel Davis was. Yeah. I mean,
I can't get my games right.
Yeah, 202 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's a record. I think they said that's a record.
Yeah. Well, if you look too. Yeah, I'm pissed. Mama Moon. I mean, the Bills game just crushed me yesterday. I mean, I feel for their fan base. I mean, you lose 4 Super Bowls in a row, and now you're on the doorstep of possibly getting a home game to the Super Bowl, and 13 seconds you can't stop them. I can't believe it.
Billy, very funny, Billy.
Yeah, exactly, Billy. Yeah. That's the truth. That's the problem with the Giants.
It's that it's that CTE setting in, and
Yeah, Michael, we all knew it would be wide open and entertaining, but it's been just the turn. I mean, who'd have thought the Rams would turn the ball over 4 times and still win? Kind of shows you how much better they played than the Bucs yesterday.
Right. But
yeah, and now the big questions are what happens with Rodgers and Brady, because I think both of them are going to wait and see to what their teams do. Because Rodgers, the Packers are $40 million over the cap, Coach. So he wants to, obviously wants to see what happens with Adams. And then the Bucs, Godwin's a free agent. They're getting older. Does Gronk come back? AB's obviously done.
Right.
So there's a lot of question marks there too.
Absolutely. And I know they got I was looking there, they have a lot of guys that they're gonna have to cut and not gonna be able to re-sign. Like the Gary kid is not gonna be able to get re-signed by Green Bay. He's gonna have to hit the open market.
He had a great year too.
And, and he really stepped it up,
Yeah, and that's why it was such a blown opportunity for the Packers, because the defenses have struggled for him, and obviously this defense was legit. And you can't score more than 10 points. The Ravens ain't bringing him in. John Harbaugh will never touch him. Trust me. John Harbaugh won't touch him. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but isn't Hollywood Brown his cousin or something?
I don't care. Who cares if it's his cousin? The guy's a clown. Yeah, he wants to play with Lamar. Yeah, okay. And he just said that. Yeah, it stays. Look, I don't think John Harbaugh will allow him in his locker room. I really don't. I'd be stunned.
I would be stunned too.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't think there's many teams that will, Michael. I agree with you.
Yeah, but you know what? Talent eventually finds its way on the field. It may not. You might have to wait for it to cool off a little bit, but talent eventually finds its way on the field.
Look how he burned Brady. Like, he couldn't make it with the Patriots. Like, where are you going to go? And Arians is probably one of the biggest players coaches in the NFL, Coach. That, no risk it, no biscuit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to take him. What contender's going to risk bringing him on that team?
You're right.
I mean, maybe he can play for some shit team. The
Texans.
Yeah, he can go play for the Texans. There you go, Coach. He can go play for the Texans. I don't know what team would take that risk. I really don't.
Now, I don't know because and how do you? I think that Rodgers is going to be gone, and you're going to have to and he'll go to one of those because I think he'll be a cap casualty.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be able to get anything for him because they're $40 million over and they have to make a lot of cuts. I think he'll be one of them.
No, they're going to try to get compensation for him. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, I'll look it up right now, Coach, and see what his cap hit is. But no, they're not going to just give him away. They're going to want because you could get at least it's Aaron Rodgers still, and as crazy it is because it only might be for what 2 or 3 years. They're going to get something for him because you'll get a first round. You'll get a first round pick. So his cap hit. Let me see. Get the hell out of here. Sorry. So yeah, they would still save $20 million.
Right. So that's half their cap.
But I'm saying it'll be a $26 million cap hit, but they still would get say $20 million in cap savings. And if they trade them, they might get all of it. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, but I think they can also spread it out over a couple of years or something like that. They're able to spread it out because I know that's where the Giants are in so much trouble because they spread out all their crap contracts.
Sid, why even bring that up, Stiz? Don't even bring that up. I don't even listen to him. Guy sucked all season, sucked for 2 years, and he has a decent weekend.
That's right, baby. Let's put that up there because Coach is catching fire.
No,
you're right.
Not.
Hey, Stiz, listen. My prop bet hit. 3 of the 4 games I picked hit. I mean, come on, I'm on fire right now.
And you should have probably been, if you look at it,
shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Well, you probably still.
That's the facts. My prop bet hit.
Coach, let's go, Brad.
Winner.
Let's factor in your record all year, and let's bring in last week.
It's just playoff time. I step it up for. I was just putting my toe in the pool. But come playoff time, I jumped right in, baby.
Coach's bold prediction last week: Patriots win outright. That looked good, 47-17, with his bold prediction. I forget what his lock was. Oh, the Eagles were his lock last week. They got smoked by 30. Yeah, come on.
But what a rebound! I came right back, man. I came right back. That's right, baby.
How about Stiz calling the Bengals? And early on, I said Bills, Bengals AFC Championship. Well, that's what it should have been if the fucking coaches could learn how to call a fucking squib kick.
I didn't mention the Bengals at all. I don't remember, but I think so. Remember, I did.
What?
Thank you. I said the Bengals. I did say it. I said I'm going with Cinderella.
No, you didn't say they're going to get the AFC Championship. You said they were going to beat the Titans. You did.
I did, right? I'm keeping Cinderella going, but yes.
Oh, who do you think they or are you going to say that for Sunday? Who wins? I guess
I'm going to save it for Sunday. I'm going to save my for Sunday. But what is
history will end? Don't worry. Now, Ralph, you're right. I agree 100%.
Absolutely,
they do need to
Ralph.
change the overtime rules. I think what they should do is give the ball to both teams. If the first team scores a touchdown and then they come down and don't score, the game's over. If the first team gets a field goal, the second team scores a touchdown, they win. But I would make them go for 2, too. So you score a touchdown, you go for 2. Then the other team gets the ball. If they score for a touchdown and they go for 2 and get it, then you do whatever. You go from the 25-yard line or the 10-yard line and do it like that. But the fact that Josh Allen didn't get the ball last night was a disgrace. It really was. It's sad. He played so damn good. I felt so bad for him.
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Don't be giving anything away, Billy. You got to wait till Sunday, man.
You're going to pick the Bengals? You think you're really going to pick the Bengals to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. We may be. I got this feeling we're going to the Super Bowl. It's all I remember. They kept showing Bengals fans in the 80s in the frigid cold singing that song, and it stuck in my head.
The one thing I'll say, they're more balanced than the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs' offense is humming right now. Their line's playing well. They're running the ball. Mahomes is just being Mahomes.
But their offensive line is horrific. I mean, the Bengals. I mean,
right.
You know.
But the Chiefs don't rush the passer real good. I mean, if you can stop Chris Jones, their best pass rusher, they're not really good at the pass rush. But, the Bengals beat them at home just a couple weeks ago, in week 17. If the Honey Badger's out, I think the Chiefs could be in trouble. Burrow's feeling it. They're confident. Jamar Chase, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Because didn't somebody else, a corner got hurt as well? Didn't one of the corners get hurt late in the game too for Kansas City?
Yeah, you might be right, Coach.
I
young
think
kid,
so.
Thomas or something. I think
yes.
You might be right.
Right.
Yeah, it was. Look, and when you guys play a good pass rush, but the Chiefs. Look, let's not forget the Chiefs jumped out 14-0 on them, and then the Bengals came back. They dominated the second half. The Chiefs only had 3 points in the second half. I mean, that Bengals defense is a lot better than people give them credit for. So that's why I say they're more balanced than the Chiefs.
Yeah, but you're going into Arrowhead. It's one of the loudest outdoor stadiums.
It's going to be tough
in the league. So it's going to be tough, man.
But Coach, I really think offensively it was tougher. It was tougher last week for them. That's a better defense. The Titans were on Burrow, going after him. I mean, this Chiefs defense.
Yes, I understand that, but you're look. Tennessee is not a football town. Their fans weren't obnoxiously loud. I'm sure that decibel meter didn't peak at all there. It didn't sound loud. Totally different when now you got to be on a silent count. You're not going to be able to communicate with your guys. It throws that in, and they're professionals. They'll be able to handle that. But just because you set up some speakers on the field doesn't able to.
No, it's I don't know how
but it is a tough place to play. So it does help that Kansas City defense a little bit.
Michael, I guarantee you, Joe Burrow ain't going to be your problem Sunday. There is not a stage too big for Joe Burrow.
Right, I agree with that.
I don't think he's going to be your problem. He will not. I mean, like I said,
it's that offensive line.
Yeah, I think they got a shot. No, yeah, and let's see how they do against Mahomes. Did you see that one throw Mahomes sidearmed yesterday? I mean, the guy's just unbelievable. I mean, he's really just playing at a high level.
Subpar, Mike. You're being kind.
Yeah,
you call it subpar.
They're bad. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's tough for me. I mean, I pretty much mapped out that game. I said I didn't think 9 times, but I said it. Their offensive line was going to be the problem. It's just the Titans did not. I mean, just did not make plays. I mean, they left plays all over the field. I mean, and the Titans laid it on the Chiefs. I really would have liked to seen. I mean, that would have been a good game. But I mean, I'm excited to see the Bengals take a shot at the Chiefs. And I honestly, I'll be rooting for them.
Hey, you want to be the best? You got to beat the best, baby. And here's your shot at it.
Yeah, they already beat them, so we'll see. I don't think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I really don't. They're the best offense maybe in football, but that defense is not Super Bowl caliber. It isn't. I
agree with that. I'm not going to argue it at all. Yeah. So Nick, tell me what are the early lines for both these games?
So the Niners opened up at 3.5. That's down to 3, and I was surprised at 3.5. I thought that was going to be 3 because. I mean, the Niners have beaten them. What is it? 8 straight or 6 straight? But they beat them a bunch. They basically Shanahan owns McVay. So I was surprised at that. Although the Niners, you've had this. I mean, they're banged up. You know what I mean? You could see at the Packers game, Kittle was walking off hurt.
Right.
Debo got hit. This has been a run of road games, but. Look, the one thing the Rams kind of struggle with defensively is physicality. And if Niners can run the ball and have some success, and they're going to try to do what they did in that second half of that Week 18 game where they pretty much dominated the Rams, that's going to be a good game. And then, obviously, the Bengals are getting 7 points, which I think is a little too much. I think that's a lot of points for the Chiefs and a little disrespectful to Joe Burrow.
Right. Okay. All right. Good stuff. That we got. I think you're right, but not San Fran, but the Rams, they win. They're hosting the Super Bowl. We'll have back-to-back teams hosting.
Isn't that crazy? You didn't have it in history.
Right.
Now you brought the one. There was the one team.
The Saints would have hosted it, but they had the hurricane.
But then there
that
was
year.
one too. It was at the. Was it? I don't know who it was. The Rams. It was at the Coliseum when the Rams were there in like the 70, 80 or something like that, or 79, 80, 81.
Right.
The Rams lost. Damn it!
They lost the NFC Championship.
It was at the Coliseum, which wasn't really their home field though, where they play, but it was in their hometown.
Right.
So, yeah, but no, and that's wild. You don't have it ever, and then you have it in back-to-back years. So, but they still got to win one more game.
Back yet? It's not back-to-back yet.
Right.
They
exactly.
still got to win, but there's a chance that we have another team hosting the Super Bowl.
And look, man, just don't count out the Niners, man. That's a team, and you know how I love when you have good. They're good up front, man, on both sides of the ball. Their defensive line's tough. Their offensive line's tough. But two, you got to give credit to the Rams. That defensive line, they were all over Brady yesterday. I mean, he was seeing all kinds of shit yesterday, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, he had his center wasn't there, and his tackle was out as well. Weren't they both out?
No, his tackle wasn't. Worse was out.
Okay.
The kid your Giants should have drafted.
You know what? I think that kid's coming along. He's coming along. I'm not awful.
Worse is an all-pro tackle, coach.
Okay, but again, you're talking about a right tackle, not a left tackle. And, right now the kid didn't give up a sack, minimal. I want to say he only gave up one sack in his last 200 snaps.
The last second half of the year.
You're right. You're right there too. But in the last passing snaps, how about that? So. Yeah,
it's right. Tell him, Stiz. It's the truth. The pots and pans in the background. Little coach always has some shit going on.
Hey man, it's there's a lot goes on here, man. It's
now one thing I want to talk about before we go. And Michael, you're right. San Fran's defense is lights out right now. Look what they did to Green Bay. Is Rodgers. The favorites, the Broncos. I'm just surprised about that. I know they have some weapons, but to me, I just think the Browns, the Indy, I think those two teams make more sense. I mean, Indy, I think, would be with that line and that running back. I still think you want to get them some weapons on the outside. Maybe.
They have cap space. They could go out and legit get I don't know what receivers are going to be out there. But
obviously, if you bring in Rodgers, they release Wentz. They got $70 million in cap room. So you could bring in him and Devontae and just add it to that team. And
but I still think they're gonna franchise him. I mean, how do you not? I mean, because you're gonna try and develop Love, and you're gonna take away the best weapon that you have too.
What if he says I won't play?
Well, what's he gonna do? Sit out a season?
Yeah, maybe.
He might. But it can be. But I just don't see it. I think he's not going to say no to top 5 money because that's what the franchise tag is.
Sammy, I think if Rodgers goes, I think he's going to the AFC. And just think about the quarterbacks in the AFC then if Rodgers goes out there.
Right, because now you'll have Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. I mean, it'll be a tough gig going through the AFC, and I think that's why Tom Brady got out of it.
Yeah, and everybody, we apologize. Coach is at his job at Burger King. He's a dishwasher. On backstage.
Yes, I'm in the back at Burger King.
He's
That's
in the back
right.
at Burger King
I know.
With his green screen up. So after this, he's going to go watch him.
Yes, so you don't see everybody there ordering burgers and stuff. I know.
Oh, man. But no, I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I still think Brady wants to play because he said the 45, although maybe he figures, look, who cares? I was 44 and I'm going to be second MVP. What do I have to prove? But yeah, I look, the Bucks, you could see that defense wasn't the same in the secondary, nor did it have the pass rush it had. Think about the pass rush they threw on Mahomes in the Super Bowl last year, Coach. Just wasn't near the same as it was this year.
I agree. And don't count out, though, if Brady decides to walk away. I wouldn't count out at Tampa as a place to go for Rodgers or Wilson.
Yeah. No, it opens the door.
Because I think that the coach there wants to win. They're built to win right now, and I think he just inserts another top quarterback and tries to make another run at it.
Well, if you re-sign Godwin, I mean, you got Godwin, Mike Evans. I mean, how much talent do you need to have? You know, you got Fournette, who's played well. You got a good offensive line, and the defense is young. They're not old on defense. They just need to improve up
Couple
front.
of D linemen, though. Yeah,
that's where they're old. You know, they're old with Sue and JPP, and I think you saw there last year. I think they'll be gone.
Right. I agree with that. So, all right, good stuff. You got anything else to add there, Nevada Nick?
That's it. I'm going to go take my Pepto-Bismol after that freaking Bills game. Still pissed.
All right. Well, Sunday. We'll be back on regular Sunday because there's no Saturday game. It's just Sunday, 2 games. So we'll be on our regularly scheduled
You know
Sunday
what games they are?
No, what games are they? Would you like to tell the audience? Because I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised, you know. You never know with you.
You know, you never know. I believe the AFC is first.
Right.
Is the first game.
Correct.
And the NFC will be the late game.
And who's playing in that AFC game?
Is it? I thought it would have been the Bills, but it's the Chiefs and the Bungles.
Bungles, yeah.
The Bungles, man.
And see, that's why I almost wonder if you should do your Coach of the Year to because now to me, Zach Taylor, I think he's Coach of the Year. I really do. With that team, what a job he's done to get them to the AFC Championship.
Right. I agree. I think it should go all the way through.
Yeah.
You know, and do that. So, but all right, good stuff. Thanks everyone for checking us out. We appreciate all the love. Make sure you share it with your friends. Share it with your friends. Ring the bell below. I can't even put my finger right. Yeah, down there. If you're on YouTube, ring the bell. Yeah. Subscribe. We appreciate all the love. Everyone be safe. Enjoy some football, and we'll see everybody on Sunday.
Stiz. And don't forget 2 for $6 at Coach's local Burger King. They're running the 2 for $6, 2 Whoppers for $6. Just say the coach sent you.
Hey, how do you think I keep these guys coming back on the show? I have to. Right. I pay them in food. I pay them in Whoppers, man.
Yeah, get your crown, coach. Tell them the coach sent you.
All right, I'll wear my crown Sunday. I'll get the crown Sunday. I'll go up front. I'll grab a crown and bring it back here.
There we go.
But all right, guys, take care, man. We'll see everyone on Sunday.